Hi, I'm Cindy Pogorski from Chicago, D'Amore's Kennel, and this is Carla, a 2.5-year-old Boston Terrier. We're both born and raised in Chicago. It's a fairly young breed in comparison to a lot of other breeds. It's about 100 years old, and basically it was developed in Boston, Massachusetts, at the turn of the century. And what it was a bunch of people that they knew about terriers because a lot of those people were still connected very much with England and Europe. And they had terrier-type dogs. And terriers tend to be really good verminators. They'll take any mouse or anything that's bothering people in their homes or in their stables, in this case, and they'll take care of the problem. Well, they wanted something that was a little smaller, maybe not quite as feisty, but still had that verminator in them. So they played around with breeding what's called a white English Terrier, which is now extinct, and a kind of a pit bull type dog also, and bred them together. Basically it would be like a bulldog now, what you consider a bulldog. And bred them together and kept doing that. And what ends up happening is, even though it's Boston Terrier, these dogs are not really a true terrier. They don't have a terrier bite. They don't really have a terrier head. So they decided they're going to be their buddies. So the whole big thing is they turned out being bar dogs. They'd be sitting on the bar stool. They were companion breed. So it didn't work out for that, but that's where they came from. They came from an English White Terrier and a Bulldog, and they were all American, from America. It's a small, compact breed, short hair, obviously. They're very intelligent, a very strong-minded, strong-willed breed. There's quite a bit of terrier in them, where they can be tenacious, but there's also a sweet side to them, where they're very much into people. They're very affectionate and very smart, sometimes too smart. Basically, there's a standard for every breed. So what the judges are looking for is they look at the specimen based on a particular standard. Certain breeds, like Boston Terriers, things like the face, the expression, is like 1/3 of the standard, so that's very important. Things like the body type, movement, may be less important in a breed like this than as opposed to like a working dog or a sporting dog. But basically they base the animal, the dog, on whatever the standard says, and they look at each dog and base it on that, and they pick whichever is the best according to the standard. And that's in a perfect world. That's how it's supposed to be. Whether it is like that or not is another story, but that's how it's supposed to be. Genetic problems with Bostons are basically things like problems with knees. It's called patellar luxation, and basically what it is the joint in the knee doesn't grow properly, and so as the puppy grows, you'll see it. It's something that they're born with. It is a genetic condition, and what happens is as the puppy grows and starts to mature, the joint doesn't support the bone, and what'll happen is it'll slip. It'll be like your kneecap slipping. And it's something that usually appears when they're about 8 months old. They're a very young dog, and it's something that can be corrected, but it's a dog that should not be bred. Other problems that the breed have would be eye problems. It's called juvenile cataracts, which we all know cataracts in people. It's usually the elderly. But juvenile cataracts is a condition that happens basically to a dog after it's born. And it's the same kind of thing where they get a cataract. So imagine this little puppy with this cataract in its eyes. And again, it can be corrected, it can be removed, but not to be bred. With breeding, sometimes they have some palate issues, and they can have a cleft palate. That's something that gets passed on. And any kind of dog like this, it's a brachycephalic dog, basically smush-faced dog. They all have the same genetic problems: pugs, Bostons, Frenchies. They're going to learn on their own terms, so you need to explain to them that this is a good thing for them and that they do it. It's a little more of a challenge, but they're good. I mean, they're great. They're good for canine good citizen, because I've got a couple of those myself, and they can do obedience very well. It's not going to be necessarily as simple as it might be with another breed, but you don't give up on them, because they will do it.